Welcome back to CfTesla and the how-to series. In this series, I answer small to large questions directly and right to the point. If you yourself have a question that you're looking for an answer for, no matter how menial it may seem, just post it right down in the comments and I'll get to it. So today's question comes from Richard S. and he just simply asks, can you do multiple locations on a drive, like a multi-point type of destination? And I thought, why not make a full video about navigation? It's about time for an update. So here's everything you need to know about using the navigation inside of your Tesla Model 3 and Model Y. A lot of this will also apply to the Model S and X. So right off the bat, Richard, the answer to your question is no. You cannot put multiple waypoints on a destination yet, but I have a little workaround for that. It's not perfect, but it does make it a little bit better. Watch for that. Now this first tip is a little bit interesting. Say you need to go pick your wife up. Maybe she was shopping or something and she said, okay, I'm ready for you to come pick me up. Here's where I am. Rather than her trying to describe to you how to get there, how to turn here, go past this store or whatever, all she needs to do is go down to her phone on the map app, press and hold so she gets a destination of where she's at currently. The pin will just simply drop right on her head. And then she can pull that up and then go down to the apps where you can send it to by just tapping on the share button and send it right to the Tesla. So here you are waiting in the car in the parking lot or wherever you are. If you're like me, my wife loves to not shop with me, so she leaves me in the car. It would then tell me exactly where to go pick her up. Now here's the thing, the person sending you their location has to have the Tesla app downloaded on their phone and be logged in under your credentials, whoever is in the Tesla. And of course, the app has got to be synced to the Tesla. But you can think of all kinds of different applications for this kind of a method. Maybe you're off with buddies, you rode with somebody else and your partner was going to come pick you up later on in the day. Again, rather than trying to explain, here's how I get there, you just pull up your phone, send it straight to them, and then they got a nice, easy destination. All they got to do is jump inside the Tesla and it's already ready to go pick them up. Now, one way that can make this pretty easy and convenient is you can use a shortcuts app that is part of the iPhone. I'm sure there's something similar to Android. And you can just create a button right on your home screen. And you can see I put mine up on the screen here where it says my location. I'm not going to press on it right now because it's going to put my location right up on the screen here, but I'll show you how I made this. And what it's designed to do is when you tap on that, it's going to pull it up right in the Maps app for you. So all you have to do then is just go in and hit that share button you already have seen, and you will see further on in this video, it'll send it directly to the Tesla. So it just kind of avoids the step of having to pull up Maps, hit your location, drop a pin, then share that pin location with the Tesla. If you do it right through the app, I'm going to show you how to do it in just a minute. You can just tap that button, it'll pull it right up right now on the Maps app, and then all you have to do is hit share and send. And again, I'm going to show you how to share something from the Maps app when I'm not sitting at my house. Okay, so that's coming up. Okay, now here's how you do this. You're going to come into the shortcut app. You're going to click Add Action. You're going to go to Location. You're going to hit Get Current Location. So right there on the top, select that. So now what the first thing it's going to do in this app is it's going to grab the current location of where you're at right now. But now we got to tell it what to do with it. So we're going to click the add symbol and we're going to get address from input. Okay, so now it's going to capture that and it's going to send it to the Maps app. So the Maps app has gathered the information. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to say show in map. So you don't want to say get direction, because once this starts calculating directions, you lose the ability to actually share your location. So you just want to hit get show address and map. So if I were to say execute here, hitting that play button, again, I'm going to blur it out of my screen because I don't want to show my address. What it's going to do then is it's going to actually pull it up in the Maps app and show me exactly where I'm standing. So again, that's taking all those steps of dropping a pin, and then so all you're going to have to do right now is just go through the sharing process, which you're going to see later on in this video. Now you could take this a step further and you could add another one there. And go and say I want to send it directly to you. So you could say send message, to my wife. So like now, as soon as I press that button, without me having to do anything, it would just send it directly to my wife right now. So you could add that extra step right in there. So again, ready to get picked up? You want to send your wife your location, or your spouse, your partner, whoever else has your app that they're signed into, then you would just have this button on your screen. Then you would tap it straight to them, and next thing you know, it pops up on their phone, their address in the text message. And then what they would do then is they get in their text message, they pull it up instantly, that same thing is on their phone, your location, it's just right there on their phone. They just simply click share and then straight into the Tesla, which you're going to see how to do here shortly. Now with your navigation system, you have the ability to do everything over voice by simply just pressing this button. It'll pull up navigation and you can tell it where you'd like to go. So for example, navigate to Safeway. Where is the nearest Safeway? Drive to Safeway. Take me to Safeway. Drive to work. And don't get too excited, I don't actually work there. drive to home, navigate to work, navigate to Fred Meyer's, cancel trip, cancel navigation. Now you can see when it pulls up a location here, you have it go from shortest distance to furthest distance, and you still need to come in here and tap it. You do not have the ability, however, to say navigate to closest Safeway, because it will still pull up a list of all the Safeways. Navigate to nearest Safeway. You still have a list there of all of them. So one of the big things that people complain about with the current state of the Tesla Autopilot in terms of navigation is you can't use waypoints. You really only have one place you can go, but there are some workarounds for that we'll talk about here in a minute. One thing it will do, though, is it will automatically route you to supercharger stations. So that's one thing that is different. You do, however, have to make sure that that is turned on in your settings, and you do that by going here to your settings. You're going to go into navigation, and then right here you want to have trip planner, where it says add stops to add superchargers if charging is needed. You do want to have that turned on. You also do, while we're in here, have the ability to avoid HOV lanes, avoid toll roads, avoid ferries, and then you have online routing, which is where it uses online data in order to determine where the best route is to save you the most amount of time. And the way it's able to do that is it actually works with a company called Mapbox, which generates this kind of data, and we'll talk more about that here in just a minute. So what it will actually do is it will add waypoints when it comes to navigating to a long distance place or anywhere where you have to go where it's going to require charging to get there. So for example, if I said, navigate me to Disneyland, it's going to take me all the way down to Disneyland. Well, I got a couple choices here. Well, I guess we're going to Disney World. Okay, so Disney World, you can see it's going to have a little bit of a work to do here. That's pretty amazing how fast it actually calculates it, but it shows you now all the different navigation stops that I'm going to have to make. And so what it tells you is how long you're going to wait and have to supercharge. So like, for example, when I get a Coeur d'Alene here in Idaho, I'm going to need to charge for 30 minutes in order to have enough juice to get to Missoula in Montana. I'll have to charge for 25 minutes there, 25 in Butte, Montana, Big Timbers. And so you can see it gives you the list of all the superchargers and how long you're going to spend there charging to get to your next position. Another quick way to access settings while we're at it is by just tapping the gear symbol here, where you then can change if to add this to turn this back on or off, as well as other types of avoidances. You also have the volume control here. Mine is off because I don't like her or whatever voice you have set up talking to me while I'm navigating. I just watch the screen. But if you do like hearing it, you just press that and it turns the volume back on again to actually hear some feedback when you got to change lanes or whatever, which is actually kind of nice for road trips sometimes because it's easy to miss a turn or miss an exit, and this way just make sure that you're paying attention. So let's talk about now removing your navigation history and how you do that and why you should do that. So if you pull up navigation by tapping on it there, it's going to pull this up. If you just simply want to get rid of this keyboard and to see more, all you got to do is just kind of slide like that, then it'll get rid of the keyboard. Now you're in here, you've got all the locations we've recently typed in as experiments. So there's two ways you can remove your destinations. One, you can press and hold, and X will pop up, and you can hit X. Okay, I don't know why you'd ever do that though, because all you have to do is swipe to the right. Gone, gone, gone. Look at how fast you can clear these. Now, why do you want to clear these? What's the point of that? Well, I've never experienced it, but there's been a lot of people, or not a lot I should say, there's been times I've heard people comment that when they try to put an address in here, it just took forever to load. They couldn't actually get the address to go through. I kind of think it's more to do with a data problem why that was happening for them, but I wasn't there to verify it. So they said what they did was they just deleted a bunch of their recent history, and they were able to then, it actually went through. So I'm not sure if that's something you've ever experienced, but in order to remove this, again, press and hold or just swipe and it's gone. Let's talk now about favorite locations, because this is something that people often use when they're in their car. Let's say that you're over here and you just absolutely love Kent Park, but not Kent Park specifically, you like the grass hill right above it. Okay, that's a really bad example, but let's just show you how to do this here. So just like any phone, you're gonna press and hold. It's gonna drop that right there. And so you now have two choices, navigate to it or hit the star. Hit the star, save. So now you got a spot where you can now name this favorite. So we can just call this the hill, okay? And then you can add to favorites. So now when you come in here to navigate, you can come over here to favorites, and we've got hill in there as our favorite location. And so of course you can use that for whatever you want. You're probably not gonna be saving park hills on yours. But again, to remove it, swipe, gone, just like that. So now another question that I get asked about all the time, because people often see this as Google down here, right? So people think, oh, this is a Google's Maps and all the data we're looking at for navigating and all that, it's all data information. But that's actually not the case. The only part that Google Maps has to do with this here is just the overlay, what you're actually seeing, the visuals are what you're seeing for Google Maps. And it looks good because Google Maps has been a leader in this. They do a great job, and there's just, it's great. But the data you're actually getting actually comes from a company called Mapbox, and they make data, they've been around for decades, and they make this data for like Facebook and other big companies like that. And it actually works a lot, kind of like the Waze app does, where they have millions of people that are using data that they're providing, and then that data feeds it back to Mapbox, and they're able then to use that data to plot it on maps, to get traffic information, all that stuff a lot more accurately because they have so many members using it. And people often say, man, I wish they would do something like Waze, where, you know, all of us who are in Teslas can use that to actually go in and help with the navigation. Well, that's pretty much what Mapbox is actually doing, is they're actually helping to do that for you. Now, Tesla has made comments, or Elon has, and even in the not so recent past, that they're going to be using specific Tesla GPS for doing things like summon park and stuff like that in parking lots. But we don't have any evidence of that so much happening in the navigation part of it, because I think they're just relying on Mapbox to do that for them. Now, we're going to go over a couple other ways to actually get a navigation into your device here. We talked about voice, and that's great if you're driving. What if you want to get your car ready to go before you get into it? Now, this is kind of an old tip, but if you're new to Teslas, it'll be new to you. So the first way to do that is to come in here and just simply typing an address. Just pull some numbers up here, pick something, and you can see that there's actually no superchargers needed on this pass. You don't see any superchargers here. When I get there, it's going to have 82%, and when I get back home from the round trip, it's going to have 78%. And that's something that's kind of nice to know, is that when you slide down on here, there's a little line there that shows sliding down. You can actually see on the very bottom there where it says road trip estimate back to starting point. So you can see what the round trip is going to be at, to kind of gauge how much battery life you have and how much you actually are going to need. Hit cancel and it all goes away. Now, the next way to get an address into your navigation is by having it already programmed into your phone. So for example, we've made an appointment here for 11 p.m. called subscribe, and we're going to be doing this at Pandora Bread. Now, speaking of that, if you guys are enjoying this and you're getting some value out of this video, please take a minute and go down and hit the like button for me. I haven't completely confirmed this yet, but they say that helps with the YouTube algorithm to get the video out to the public for people who are looking for how-tos. That just helps them find this video easier. I appreciate that. So now, the next step is you got to make sure your calendar is actually synced with your navigation or with your Tesla. So what you have to do to make sure and do that is all you need to do is go into your Tesla app here. You go into settings, and then you come down here and you make sure that it says calendar sync, and it's on. Then you got to make sure that you are linked to your car through Bluetooth, which your phone should be if you're driving it around anyway and you got into it. So once you're into it, then you can come in here to your calendar by tapping that up arrow, calendar, and you can see my next appointment, subscribe, right there at 11 a.m. Now, if you're within 30 minutes of this time frame, it will automatically pull it up and put it right here on your screen for you and already navigate you, so you get in the car and it's already programmed, ready to go. But if you're a little ahead of the schedule, you want to get there a little early, or you're just giving yourself more time and it's not up here yet, you can come in and just simply tap the arrow just like that, and it's going to put you right over there. So that's a really great way to do it. One way it doesn't work is that if you came into your phone here and looked at your actual map, it'll pull up your next calendar, your service suggestions will. And if you think maybe I can just tap on it here and send it to my phone, it actually won't work, because it actually skips a very crucial step. It goes into the next phase of your navigation or your option selection on your phone, where you just hit go. You actually need to be able to do it at the point where it says share. So we'd actually have to type in Pandora. Okay, and we can go to Pandora and Bellevue. So when you tap on it here, you can see that if I swipe up, it says share. And this is where you have to hit share, and then you got to click on your Tesla app, and then it will actually send it over here to your Tesla. Now, if you don't have this popping up right here in the front, and you would like to get that app sending up right there so it's easy to find, swipe all the way to the right, hit more, and then you'll see your My Tesla is up here. Just hit edit if yours isn't, and if it's down here somewhere, all you have to do is drag it or hit add, right? And once it's there, you can then drag it around of where you would like to have it. So now the next thing I want to share with you guys is kind of a workaround for your not having waypoints. It's not creating waypoints, but it's a way to kind of get set up for it. So one thing you can do is you can come in here and have it on recents. Okay, so let's delete all the ones from today on here so we get a nice clean finish. Let's say we have 3 stops that we need to go at. So we can come in here,
type in some numbers. So you can just say go to 1 right here. It's going to start your navigating to there. Just come in here, and we'll call this your last stop. Okay, go last stop to first stop. Okay, hit cancel. Then go to your middle stop. Let's say you had 3, so we're going to go to stop number 2 now. Okay, and we're going to pick this one in Seattle. Okay, it starts coming up here. Let it calculate the routing. Hit cancel. And then we're going to go to our very first one, which is going to be 444 right here in Auburn. And this is one we're going to actually let navigate us. Okay, so now we've input 3 into our recents. See how we did that there? So now let's say that we get to the first location, we're arriving there, we've done what we need to do. Now we can just say, I could just say cancel to that, or it would have automatically canceled. If I just hit navigation, you can see it's going to have those 3 locations already set, and I can just pick on the next one I need to go to. So this is the first one I entered, second one I entered, third one I entered. So we did that one, so we go to number 2, so we tap on that, complete that. When we get done with that one, we just come back up here and go to the very last one. And we can navigate to all 3. So that's kind of a quick way to work around that. It's not super convenient, but it is a way to do it that does work. So the next thing I want to show you, and this is what makes it so different in Teslas, and I don't really know how they get away with it, who knows, I'm glad they do though, is one thing you can do inside of Tesla is you can actually enter in a location while you're driving. I mean, my MDX and my Infinity both can't do that. I could never do that without pulling over in my other cars. So that's pretty interesting how they allow you to do that. I mean, you can even go in here and you can search the web, you can do other things while the car is moving, which is again not normal. Now the thing about being able to put in your address, I mean, I'm glad it does that. There's some of my riding buddies coming to our house. So the thing about being able to input while you're actually moving, I think that is just fine to be able to do that. I mean, it's not the car's job to keep you from doing something you shouldn't do. That's up to the driver. That's a driver responsibility. It's not a car responsibility. I mean, just because you gray that out, don't let someone do it, doesn't mean that person's not going to just pull up their phone and type it in while they're driving into their phone anyway. It's not saving anything. Let the car be open to that, and let's just hope that people are smart enough to not do it. That's the 7th Tesla now that we've passed, just trying to turn around in my little tiny neighborhood here.
Now, I know this one ran a little bit long, so thank you guys for watching, but I hope you found a couple things in there that are going to help your driving experience with your navigation just a little bit better. Like I mentioned, if you have any questions you'd like me to make a video on, even if they're small, even kind of silly feeling, it's okay. Lots of other people are feeling the same way. It's no big deal. Leave it down in the comments below. Send me a private email. I don't care how you want to send it to me. My email is right down below as well. Also send me your best Tesla cam videos that you guys have captured. We're going to put those together in a nice video. We're going to vote on them. It's going to be fun. See you on the next one. Thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. If you haven't already, make sure and subscribe. We've got lots of videos we're always working on, and if you like this video, you're gonna like the ones coming. Now don't forget, if you wanna ask me questions and be part of a chat where you can learn about your Tesla, gain confidence, don't forget to check out our Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can have access to all my videos, all archived right there for you, as well as listen in to some of the conversations that we're having there on the channel. And of course, there is a tier higher to enter into the conversation. I've also added in there a whole page of all the accessories that I recommend and have reviewed on this channel, as well as a description about what my likes and dislikes are of the product and if I still use them today. Well, that's my little sales pitch. I hope to see you on Patreon.